Hello everyone, myself Sindhu, lecturer in zoology, BGS First Grade College, Kuvempu, Mysore. In this class I am going to discuss about the first unit for third semester students, and this first unit comprises few important topics, that is spermatogenesis, oogenesis and types of eggs. Okay, these are the three important topics which comes under the first unit, and the paper is developmental biology. So, let us discuss about the first topic, that is spermatogenesis. Here the process of spermatogenesis gets completed in two phases, okay, two important phases, in which the first one is formation of spermatids. Formation of spermatids. Okay. So, the process of spermatogenesis gets completed in two phases, in which the first one is the formation of spermatids and the second one is spermiogenesis. Okay. This is the second one and this is the first phase. Here the first phase, that is the formation of spermatids, is subdivided into three stages, in which the first one is the multiplication phase, okay, and the second one is growth phase, okay, and the third one is the maturation phase. So, these are the three important sub-stages or the phases which comes under the first phase, that is the formation of spermatids. So, as I told you before, the complete process of spermatogenesis, it has two important stages or phases, in which the first one is formation of spermatids and the spermiogenesis. Okay. So, under the formation of spermatids we have three types. One is the multiplication phase, second one is growth phase and third one is maturation phase. Coming to the spermiogenesis, in this case the spermatids changes into or transformed into a motile sperm. Okay. So, that is what, and or this particular transformation or the process is called as spermiogenesis. So, here this spermatids are circular in shape. They are circular in shape and they are non-motile. Okay, circular in shape, non-motile. Here this spermatids or the process of spermatogenesis gets completed in 74 days. 74 days. The complete process of spermatogenesis gets completed in 74 days. Okay. And here the process of spermatogenesis takes place in seminiferous tubules. The process of spermatogenesis takes place in seminiferous tubules and or under the influence of a hormone, okay, under the influence of hormone or the sex hormone called testosterone. This is a hormone, sex hormone for the males. So, under the influence of this hormone, the whole process will get completed. Okay, this is about the few introduction, few things about the spermatogenesis. Let's start with the process. Here what happens is, this seminiferous tubules are lined with cells called germinal epithelial cells. Germinal epithelial cells. So these are the germ cells. Okay, germ or germinal cells, germinal epithelial cells. So here what happens is, this germinal epithelial cells have the ability or the capacity to undergo a meiotic division, which is the reductional division. Here this particular cell, germinal cell, enters into the first stage of spermatogenesis, and that stage of, or the first stage or first phase is called as multiplication phase. Multiplication phase. So here what happens is, the germinal cell enters into the first stage of the spermatogenesis, and thus that first stage is called as multiplication phase. Here these germ cells are diploid in nature, 2n in number, okay, diploid in nature. Here what happens is, this germ cells enters into the first stage of spermatogenesis. Here it undergo a mitotic division. Undergo mitotic division and produces two cells which are again diploid in number. Okay, these cells are diploid in number, and this cells again divided into, this each cells divided into two, or each cells divided into two daughter cells. Okay, two daughter cells. So this cells, this particular cells is called as spermatogonia. These cells are called as spermatogonia. So here what happens is, in case of this particular stage in spermatogonia, half of the spermatogonia behaves like a stem cells. Okay, half of the spermatogonia which are produced from the mitotic division in the first phase, that is multiplication phase, behave like a stem cells. Here stem cells means they undergo a multiplication in order to produce more and more spermatogonia, Hence, or this particular spermatogonia is called as type A spermatogonia. Okay, so here the produced spermatogonia, in which half of the spermatogonia behaves like a stem cells. Stem cells means they undergo multiplication, and this particular type of spermatogonia is called as type A spermatogonia. Okay, and the remaining spermatogonia, these are called type B spermatogonia. Okay, type B spermatogonia. Here again this type B spermatogonia, this spermatogonia undergo or enters to the next phase called growth phase. growth phase. Okay, this undergo to the next or enters to the next phase called growth phase. Here what happens is the size of the spermatogonia is increased, and accumulation of the nutrients takes place. Here the accumulation of nutrients takes place and the accumulated nutrients are come from or secreted from the germinal cells. And this is 2n in number, diploid in nature. Okay. So in this particular phase, this spermatogonia undergo growth or development takes place and accumulation of nutrients also takes place. Okay. And this accumulated nutrients are secreted by the germ cells, and this particular cell or the spermatogonia are called as primary spermatocyte. Okay, primary spermatocyte. Here the size is increased because of the growth. Okay. So next what happens is maturation takes place. Here this particular primary spermatocyte undergo a meiotic division. And this particular phase or stage is called as maturation phase. Okay. This primary spermatocyte undergo a meiotic division, and that particular phase is called as maturation phase. Here meiotic division is of two parts. Two types of meiosis are there. One is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Okay, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Here this primary spermatocyte which undergo maturation or which enters to the next phase called maturation phase. Okay, enters to the next phase called maturation phase, and this maturation phase is actually called as meiotic stage or meiotic division. Okay, we all know that meiosis is of two types. One is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Here what happens is the primary spermatocyte undergo a division, that is meiosis 1. Okay, meiosis 1. This primary spermatocyte undergo a meiotic division, that is meiotic 1 division, and forms a two cells. Okay, it undergo a meiotic division and forms a two haploid cells. Okay, this is haploid, haploid produces two haploid cells. Later on, this cells, both the haploid cells, it forms both the cells, both haploid cells forms parent cells forms a daughter cells. Each parent cells forms a daughter cells. Okay, each parent cells form two daughter cells. Here this particular cells is called as secondary spermatocyte. Okay, secondary spermatocyte. This is the secondary spermatocyte. Okay, and this secondary spermatocyte undergo meiotic II division. Meiotic II division, which is same as the equational division or mitotic division, and each parent produces 2 daughter cells, and this produced daughter cells are called as spermatids. Spermatids, okay. These cells are called as spermatids. Okay. Here what happens is, these spermatids are non-motile, circular in nature, they are non-motile, okay. Circular and they are non-motile in nature. This circular non-motile spermatids are transferred into motile sperms. Motile sperms transformed into motile sperms. So, how this transformation takes place from spermatids, non-motile spermatids, how this transformation takes place. So, here there are few changes. Okay, there are few changes, or in other words we can say it as the transformation or the process of transformation of spermatids into a motile sperm is called as spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis. Okay. So, the first phase is the formation of spermatids. Under the formation of spermatids we have 3 phases. One is multiplication phase, then comes to the growth phase, and the next one is the maturation phase. These are the 3 phases which comes under the first phase, that is the formation of spermatids. Followed by we have spermiogenesis. In case of spermiogenesis, as I told you before, the spermatids, circular non-motile spermatids transformed or changes into a active sperms, motile sperms. Okay. So, this process is called transformation or changes of spermatids into sperms, motile sperms, is called as spermiogenesis. This process is called spermiogenesis. So, how this transformation occurs or changes occurs? Let us talk about the changes from spermatids to sperms, motile sperms. So, changes during spermiogenesis. Okay. So, what are all the changes occurs during the transformation of spermatids into sperm? Okay. Here the first point is about the condensation of nucleus. Condensation of nucleus. Here what happens is, in this changes, condensation of nucleus takes place. Here losing of mRNA and acidic proteins takes place. Okay. Condensation of nucleus or nucleus condensation by losing mRNA and acidic proteins, and remaining genetic material is DNA and the basic proteins. So, here in case of condensation of nucleus, it loses the mRNA and acidic proteins, and remaining things are DNA and basic proteins. Okay. And the next point is about shape of the nucleus. nucleus shape. Here it becomes flat, nucleus become flat and pointed anteriorly. Pointed anteriorly. In case of, particularly in case of human sperm, the nucleus become flat and pointed anteriorly. Okay. Third point is about the cytoplasm. Okay. Here in case of human sperm, what happens is there is no cytoplasm. Okay. Only a little bit of cytoplasm is present in the tail of the sperm. Okay. Tail of the sperm. Only the thing is, actually the complete cytoplasm is lost. There is no cytoplasm, but only a thin layer of cytoplasm is present in the tail region of the sperm. Okay. Coming to the mitochondria. Here mitochondria is spiral ribbon-like structure, okay, which is surrounded by the axoneme. Okay. Mitochondria is a spiral or coiled ribbon-like structure which is surrounded by the axoneme. Okay. And that is known as Nibberken. Okay. And the whole structure is covered by the plasma membrane. Whole structure is covered by the plasma membrane. Okay. These are all the changes occurs during the spermiogenesis, that is changes from spermatids to sperm. Okay. The motile active sperm. So these are all the few points about the spermiogenesis. Here what happens is, we have to focus on one more important terminology, that is spermiation. Okay. Spermiation. So here we have three terminologies, in which the first one is spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis means the whole process, and spermiogenesis means the transformation or changes from spermatids to sperm, and spermiation means, here what happens is, consider this is a seminiferous tubule. Okay. Here we have the Sertoli cells. Along with the Sertoli cells, we have the germinal epithelial cells. Okay. Here what happens is, the spermatids embedded in the seminiferous tubules or Sertoli cells. Okay. Here the mature sperms released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. So this is the seminiferous tubule. Okay. This is the germ cell, and this is the Sertoli cells. Okay. Here the mature sperms released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. So consider this is the lumen. Here the mature sperms released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. So this process is called as spermiation. Okay. The process of releasing of mature sperms from Sertoli cells to the lumen of the seminiferous tubule is called as spermiation. So, this is about the complete idea of spermatogenesis or the formation of sperm.